Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
The Thursday Letters page thinks there should be laws against using AI, as one reader ponders how to expand US News's cast of characters. To join in with the discussions yourself, email gamecentral@metro.co.uk. Ever-decreasing circles. To judge by the reception for Concord and the poor reviews for Marvel Rivals, I think it's becoming clear that the problem isn't necessarily too many live service games, but too many hero shooters. The Overwatch formula is a pretty simple one, and unfortunately that means it's easy to copy too. Add to that the fact that it pioneered paid-for cosmetics, and it's just too tempting a target. Problem is that no matter how good the gameplay or characters are, without some actual new ideas, it's just going to flop. I played the Concord beta and, yes, it was well made and some of the characters were quite clever, but it was so blatantly just alternate world Overwatch that I found it very hard to get engaged with it. People have been cloning popular games for decades, but when it's as obvious as this, it takes you out of the game and actually spoils the immersion. That's how I feel anyway. There's just too many, and I think it's always going to be a case of diminishing returns with each new one that's just the same with different characters. Gant, empty rivals. I've been playing the Marvel Rivals beta too, and I agree with GC's review that it is very obviously a copy of Overwatch. I also agree that the game has far too much going on screen to really keep track of, with all the specials and everything. Although that may simply be a sign that the game wasn't holding my attention the way it was supposed to be, and I wasn't paying as much attention as I could have been. For me, it's just typical of the sort of lazy, copycat gaming I've come to expect of free-to-play games, and I'm absolutely not surprised to find that it's by a publisher of mostly mobile games. It feels like it, and I'm sure the final game will be filled with pointless cosmetics and battle passes that cost a fortune and cause children across the land to raid their parents' credit card. It's not even that it's terrible, it's just bland and manipulative and lazy. I didn't play Concord, so I can't say whether that's better or worse, but at least it seems to be a real video game. Marvel Rivals doesn't. It's a tie-in game and it's a rip-off of Overwatch. There's just nothing of itself there at all. Kodak. Sarah Connor was right. I really don't understand why there aren't any laws protecting people and their jobs from AI. We have such insanely detailed and complex rules about most aspects of people's working lives. Well, maybe not so much in America. And yet there's absolutely nothing stopping companies from not only ripping off people's work, but then getting them laid off and replaced with an algorithm which will just carry on ripping off their work forever, never capable of inventing anything new itself. Who is it going to copy if all the artists are put out of a job? And how close to the breadline are these companies that laying off 20 people is essential to their business plan? If they're having that much trouble keeping the lights on, they might as well pack it in right there. Of course, I know it's just the constant search for infinite growth that's behind it all, but this all seems so pointless and harmful. I thought AI was meant to do all the boring jobs, not the creative ones? Cranston. Email your comments to gamecentral@metro.co.uk. Starting small. So what is the consensus on which From Software game is the best to start with? I've heard that Elden Ring is the easiest, but I find the size and length of the game very daunting, and I'm really not sure I want to be committing 200 hours to a game right now. So not counting that, what would everyone suggest is the easiest and therefore the best to play for a newbie? It's not so much the difficulty I'm worried about, but the time it'll take me to get through it all. I especially don't feel the summer is the time for getting stuck into a massive new game. Eagle Scott. GC. We would say either Bloodborne or, if you don't have a PlayStation 4 or 5, Dark Souls 3. Elden Ring is widely regarded as the easiest though, even if easy on this scale, is still very hard indeed. Try before you buy. Just as a FYI for everyone, but there's now a Rise of the Rōnin demo on the PlayStation Store. It's a bit late in the day, but I strongly recommend everyone give